as technology.
Hello everyone, and welcome to today's episode of MST3K Review Guys. I'm Joseph.
And I'm Donnie.
And today we are going to be looking at the classic The Pumaman from 1976. So let's dive right in. How's that sound, Donnie?
Sounds good. So, The Pumaman. We were particularly excited to do this one. When we watched this one quite a few years ago now actually, we love this one. So
yeah, this is the first review where we're doing a movie we have seen before.
And we were hoping it was gonna hold up, and
it did for me.
And I don't want to spoil our whole tier list at the end of it, but boy, how did this movie hold up?
Yeah,
let's dive right into this film, Joseph.
Okay, so the movie starts. It's showing this blonde lady who basically exists only to be the love interest, as you'll see, and she's examining an idol, a golden Aztec idol, kind of like what Indiana Jones steals from Raiders of the Lost Ark, and she's there with a bald guy named Cobra.
Yeah,
Cobra, and the first main thing that happens is she translates some inscription, and then he, I guess, immediately knows that the idol can be used to control her mind.
Well, so I don't know if it's related to him knowing that it can control the mind, but so if you remember, there's a part where she accidentally opens up that little back panel, and
Intel inside. Ding, 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 ding.
She's like, oh shit, this is, from outer space. And he's like, no, we don't talk about this. So that was like Fight Club, I guess.
Yeah, so he obviously knows that there's some sort of significance to it, even at the start of the movie. And this character Cobra, you'll see some of the riffs in this video, but they really riff this whenever there's a scene with Cobra in it. They riff him really well. They
Will drop your pants to your ankles and walk through town saying, "I am a ninny."
They make fun of his baldness, and then towards the end they start making recurring jokes about the color of his bald head, like it's a cantaloupe or it's a
a peach.
A peach, yeah.
Peach. Oh, that's Donald.
Yeah, and I mean, the craziest thing to me is Cobra is actually played by a very well-known actor.
See, I never knew the actor, but
it's Donald Pleasance, who's been in a shit ton of movies, and how they swindled him into being in this fucking movie, I have no idea.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so then we're introduced to our hero, and by the tone of my voice, I'm hoping you can tell there were quotations around the word hero.
So you kind of alluded to it, but real quick, let's just jump back for a second. They end up mind controlling the girl.
Yeah, that was the main that intro scene. He ends up using the mind control of the golden idol on the girl, and he's gonna use her as a weapon to
lure our hero.
Again, in quotations.
The magnificent Tony.
Oh, yeah, that's his name, Tony.
Yeah.
See, we don't even know his name. That's how.
Who, I believe our first scene of him, he is being followed by a gentleman who we'll learn later is honestly
hero.
The person who should be the Puma Man. He is the only actual Aztec-related person in this film, and he actually does most of the shit in it.
Yeah, the work, the heroic work that the Puma Man is supposed to do.
He's running up to his office in some kind of
he's
banana yellow jumpsuit.
Oh yeah, and they say they're like, oh, it's the
Big Bird line.
It's the Big Bird athletic wear collection.
The new Big Bird action wear.
And so you see him coming into the museum. He gets kind of chewed out by his boss for honestly stupid stuff, for I guess having athletic goals or something, because he was just upset that he was running outside.
Yeah. And so he's in the museum, I guess, looking at dinosaur bones, and then the Aztec guy shows up and just like pretty obviously steals like a jawbone or something, but he's really just trying to intentionally get the hero Tony to chase him, to try to get into a confrontation.
And this is where we get to see some of the just stupendous powers of the Pumaman, the Aztec,
including the special effects from the cinema department.
Amazing special effect. I don't recall the Aztec's name. Do you, Joseph?
He says it in the beginning. It starts with a V. It's like Vintimbigo, but it's a weird. He's the Aztec guy. We'll just know that.
Yeah, and so this is like the first big like, you have powers, Tony. He's running, he's chasing after him. He can't find him. He looks around, and then all of a sudden, the Aztec dude just lifts him up like he's carrying him out of a church at a wedding and throws his ass out the window.
And apparently, even though Tony's unaware of his powers at this point, I think it's implied his powers allow him to gently glide down out of the 3-story window and land unharmed.
He lands like a cat.
Yeah. Oh, okay, that was it. He always lands on his feet, and and
we kind of glossed over his. Let's just call it what it is. Joseph, his fucking Spidey sense.
Yeah.
He senses when people or when there's danger coming.
Well, he says he's always sensed when people are in danger. Yet,
but he's fairly oblivious to most danger in this film.
As the Riffers comment.
Yeah.
Yep, he can sense danger. A Post-it note can sense danger better than this guy.
And so.
But so then eventually, there's I forget what happens, but Tony ends up on a roof.
No, are you talking about like at the
when he throws him the belt?
Oh, that's way later.
Oh, that's later.
Yeah.
Okay.
So first he's I guess hiding in the like a shed or something, and the Aztec guy busts in Kool-Aid Man style.
Like here's Johnny.
Yeah.
Style.
And he's just like, "You are the Pumaman," and Tony's like.
He doesn't quite believe
what the hell's the Pumaman?
Yeah, especially because Tony's white.
Yeah. And so he grabs like a club and the Aztec guy disappears and he's like, well, guess that shit was weird. I'm out of here. And goes back to his lab, and that is where he is introduced to our love interest who like flirts with him to get him to come over, but
then they're gonna go to that prom, not a prom, but it's
the dinner at her dad's house or the Dutch embassy.
It's the thing he ends up getting dressed up for in that huge. I think the Riffers, I think they call it like part bow tie, part parachute, or something like that.
Parachute/bow tie.
Yeah, and she gets him to come over, but under the guise of, oh, I need you to help me look at my books, which is like. I mean, clearly this guy's pretty stupid, but...
And this is all, like, she's being mind-controlled because she wants to get him wherever she wants him. After she gets that... Cobra can
After they get that... Somehow just talking to him, she deduces that he's the Pumaman. I don't know how that really worked, but...
Yeah, and she ends up reporting back to Cobra. I'm pretty sure it's him. He's like, okay, well, let's kill him.
Yeah, and so...
Because I guess he's a threat to Cobra's plans, which...
are never really made all that clear. He's
just naturally villainous.
When you have a bald head like that, you kind of only have two career choices.
And he wears those shiny black leather outfits, and he's kind of got a villain's lair going on.
His whole crew wears like these weird black leather outfits.
They're gimp suits from Pulp Fiction.
But yeah, so they go to this dinner at her dad's house, who, also important to note, also being controlled by Cobra. And they, Donald Pleasance's character, Cobra, invites himself, and then they show up, and it's just like this weird, awkward scene where, like, it's not even like, oh, these guys are bad. It's just like they make jokes about, like, you know, where's the keg and stuff like that, but it literally just looks like they walked into a house. They're like, oh, guess we're here now.
Where's the keg?
Like,
and then Tony and the blonde girl, they go upstairs to, you know, to help her with her homework.
And, you know, they get, like, Like, you know, they're getting ready to kiss and everything, and you know, like, well, clearly this is about to go south, and no sooner than you think it's gonna go south, Tony gets jumped by like 4 dudes.
Yeah, and so a scrum ensues, and is this where he ends up on the roof?
Yeah, so
like, I mean, there's more fighting involved. We'll include the clips, but
so basically they're chasing him. He beats them down. He eventually escapes through a dumb waiter.
Oh yeah,
because they make the joke that he looks dumb,
and he's dressed like a waiter.
Ironic. He looks like a waiter and he's dumb.
He's dumb and he looks like a waiter, so he climbs through there. Somehow gets to the roof. I think he gets into the attic somehow.
Yeah,
and then punches his way through into the roof.
and so that's essentially where down back on the ground, but within visual, he can see Tony on the roof. The Aztec guy. He's like, you're the Pumaman, and he's like, here, take it. And he's there's a belt that I guess you have to wear to fully get the Pumaman powers, and so he throws it up there, and it looks kind of like a rubber snake toy, but Tony gets the belt on the roof, puts it on, and it instantly changes his clothing to give him this really lame brown and red superhero outfit.
Let's talk about this costume for a minute, Joseph, because this costume is incredible.
Like, it almost required thought to make it that bad.
Yeah, it's like this poo brown colored shirt with
a red cape.
I'm guessing was supposed to be a puma on it.
Yeah, there was some kind of logo on
it.
The chest.
It just looks like the mask, which doesn't look like a puma either. It just looks weird.
But he's wearing just regular like khaki Dockers.
Yeah.
And you know, regular shoes, so he doesn't do the tights.
And he has like a red cape that you would expect like a small child to be wearing on Halloween. And so he's like, now what? I look ridiculous now, but what now do you want me to do? Jump? Can't jump. Just do it. And he jumps, and holy crap, Joseph, the flying in this.
The green screening is like I know this movie was from 1976, but it is unbelievable how I mean, most of the time when he's flying horizontal, I guess, horizontal, his legs are dangling down, and it looks like he's being hoisted by his waist.
Yeah, it's not even.
He should go, and it's clearly just like B-roll footage of a city night skyline in the background.
Honestly, to me, the biggest problem with it isn't even the like shitty stock footage they have behind it. It looks all right, but it's that he makes no effort to look like he's actually flying.
Yeah.
He literally looks like he just like they like gave him like just lifted him up, and he's like, "All right, I'm just gonna sit here like this. We're flying now."
And yeah, so this is the point when he officially sort of accepts the fact that he's the Pumaman who was given powers. I don't know, descended through his dad or something.
Yeah, so his just like his family line, I guess, is from a god who gave birth to like a half human, half god.
Oh yeah, and there's this whole like E.T. outer space aspect to it, but we don't really
care.
We don't need to dive into that, but that's basically where it all comes from.
I would dive into it if it made any sense, but literally they're just like, how do we make the fact that he's like some kind of weird god Puma Man thing? Aliens.
Yeah. So once he establishes his once he accepts his power and realizes it, he starts to use it
to start hunting down Kronos or
Cobra. Yeah, and so the Aztec guy like takes him to his personal where he lives. It's like this abandoned garage type thing, and he teaches him how to travel through concrete walls. Yeah. And he eventually causes a fire truck to crash. Yeah, because he scares the guy.
Because he jumps out of a car moving like 4 miles an hour.
Yeah,
and apparently that's enough to freak the driver of the car out.
Yeah, and so then there's so he first tests out his powers on a villain when he goes up to one of the bad guys. He was probably with the group who jumped him at at that cocktail party earlier, and he flies him up into the air again. Terrible green screening. He like drops him for a little bit, and they make the when he drops him, they make the great comment.
Help, I'm falling at a 60-degree angle, breaking all the laws of physics.
Oh, I'm falling at a 60-degree angle.
Oh yeah.
And then he's also holding him by his nipples, and they make a comment about that.
Would you stop holding me by my nipples?
Yes, and then after that, there's the scene. And if you're getting the impression that once he figures out he's a hero, the middle of the film is mostly just him.
It's like that
going
classic,
around.
like, I'm gonna go see how my powers work,
Yeah, so there's not a whole lot of plot
real
substance
plot
in these.
development.
Yeah.
Not this movie has a lot of plot development anyways, but even less than normal.
Yeah. So in the next scene is when they're in the garage and they're flipping over the Jaguar, and I think they make the comment they destroyed a perfectly good Jaguar filming this movie.
Oh yeah.
So this lousy movie ruins a perfectly good Jaguar.
And then that's where the guy's like, put on the brakes.
Oh yeah, he just flipped over.
Yeah, he's flipping the car.
He's lifting the car up, and the guy in the car is going, put on the brakes. Brakes! Step on the brakes! Sure, because that's how you stop a car from being flipped.
So then after that, I think they show this. There's a scene where the next, if you can call it a plot advancement, is when these like generals and like leaders or something go to Cobra's house. It's like a mansion, and then he uses the mask mind control powers on all of them. So now he has them in his pocket, or they're in his pocket.
Yeah, and so Tony tries to show up and, take out Cobra because he's figured out where Cobra's lair is at this point. And he ends up getting controlled by the mask.
Yeah, and then this is what leads up to the whole fake death thing, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So actually, before the fake death, it leads up to like a bunch of really confusing scenes where he's like trying to, I guess, fight the mask, but he's like, I can't do it, and he's like, dude, I can't think of any other word, like, bitch slapping the Aztec guy, and the Aztec guy's like, no, calm down, it's gonna be okay. Like, he's like dealing basically with like a rampant child.
Oh yeah, that's when he initially went in there with to get Cobra, and that was outside where the Aztec guy kind of got discovered. He was like hiding by a tree or something. Yeah. And then the guys, or by the side of the house, I forget. The guys all walk up to him and surround him to capture him or whatever, and then they make the comment, "Stop! I've got a members only jacket."
Oh no! That's the next one.
Now that's the next one.
That's the next time they go there. So basically, he calms Tony down long enough by convincing him that if he, in his mind, believes he's dead and fakes his death, basically, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
That Cobra will stop pursuing him.
Yeah, and won't have control over his mind anymore.
Okay, so yeah, and so then once he fakes his death, they're outside. It's daylight. It's like an abandoned brick house kind of thing.
Or like,
but and then that's where they make the two guys. It's like the two henchmen. They walk up to him. They think he's dead. And they go up, I guess, to take his pulse or something, and they make the comment, "Tell Santa I love him."
Tell Santa I love him.
But this leads, Joseph, to probably my favorite part in the entire movie, when it had to have been an accident. Like, there's no way they could control that bug. Like, it had to have been an accident. They're like, dude, let's keep that in the movie. A bug lands on Tony, and
while he's trying to pretend to be dead and totally still. And
Mike, Crow, and Servo start making like ridiculous statements as the bug, like, yeah, see how long you can last with me crawling all over you.
It would be terrible if you were to sneeze right about now.
Seems like I have you in a bit of a bind, don't I, Mr. Dead Human? Hate to see you sneeze right now.
And man, that scene with that bug had me crying a little bit. That was
and great. Before, and this could be discussed anywhere, but anytime Tony's about to do something heroic as Pumaman, the movie plays this really lame jingle. It almost sounds like a commercial jingle on like a cheap. I think they make the comment.
Like
it's on a Casio keyboard.
The fat-free yogurt that's not short on flavor.
And then they, I think it's Crow, I want to say, like, sings along to that melody.
Yeah, I think it's Crow. And they just make, silly songs every time. Like, it's just...
We'll play them for you.
Yeah. I don't want to ruin them.
Yeah. So anyway, after he fakes his death, that pretty much sets up...
Oh, and he loses his powers at some point in this. Like, did you not catch that? He lost his powers, which is why...
This movie's narrative telling was not very good.
Yeah, so he loses his powers somehow. I'm not entirely clear on that. But he loses his powers, which is what leads to the next scene, which is them being like, alright, I've escaped this mental trap of Cobra. What do we do now? And, like, basically, the Aztec guy's basic response is don't worry about it. And he's clearly, like, got a bunch of dynamite together.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, what are you gonna do? He's like, suicide bomb the house? And he's like, if I can save my one life for a bunch of lives, then it's worth it. I'm the high priest. And he's like, well, sacrificing 2 lives is even better, which doesn't make any sense, but... Tony really wants to die, but then it leads to this great scene where he's like, I'm sorry. What are you sorry for? I'm sorry. What are you sorry for? And then just uppercuts him.
Yeah.
And so the Aztec guy goes to Cobra's lair.
Oh yeah, that's where he's heading in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
He's got like the sack over his shoulder.
They make a good joke. Just gotta deliver this ham and get out of here. But so he sneaks up. The sack is full of dynamite. He gets one stick of dynamite out, and the entire bodyguard of Cobra shows up. And this is the scene you were alluding to,
yeah,
Joseph.
with a members only jacket.
I've got a members only jacket.
And so they're like, "We'll kill you. Drop the dynamite." And he's like, he opens his jacket and he's like, "No, you won't. I have all this dynamite. I want to speak to Cobra." And so he gets Cobra on the line. Basically, he's like, he demands some stuff. They bring him in. He whispered. Oh, and at some point, like, the girl kind of gets like some semblance of her own free will back again, like, because she actually feels bad for Tony and everything and wants to help him.
Yeah, and then Cobra, and it might have been early, but Cobra wants to use her to shoot Tony, and she's able to like fight it off and like intentionally shoot up just into the air.
That was the one where Tony gets possessed by.
Oh, okay, that's right.
So yeah, and so they go in. He whispers because they all think Tony's dead at this point because of his amazing fake death acting. It was like honestly the most convincing acting I saw in this movie.
Yeah.
And so they go in. He whispers, not really that quiet of a whisper, that Tony's still alive. Yeah. I'm not sure how nobody heard him, but so they go in. Cobra tries to mind control the Aztec guy, and he thinks it works, but then the Aztec guy is like, no.
He keeps repeating some like motto. I forget what it is, and he's like power focusing to avoid getting mind control.
He starts fighting the guys, and then Tony gets his like spider sense tingling again after he wakes up after the uppercut. And somehow gets his powers back. Still not explained how he lost them, really, or how he got them back, but he just has them again.
It's best not to question it.
No, apparently not. But, so he shows up, and him and
the Aztec
guy just beat the crap out of everyone. But
for a while, there was Tony was trying to get through the little force field.
Oh yeah,
of Cobra that they called the Fortress of Balditude.
Yeah,
but eventually he's able to to crack
he,
it.
No, he goes like down, like he does like his like travel through walls thing.
Oh, and he goes like
under it and then appears behind him. But it also leads to the only time anyone actually does anything with like real consequence in this movie, which is when the Aztec guy blows up the mirror, which is allowing him to helping him control stuff. So no one's under his control anymore.
Yeah. And then, because I'm trying to think, after he blows up the mirror, I forget how did it. Okay. So eventually the Cobra, he escapes into a helicopter.
Yes.
Okay, and then
Can we talk about the CGI real quick about when he jumped up to go get the helicopter and he was like 3 times the size of the helicopter?
Yeah. So once Cobra starts flying away in his helicopter, then Tony pursues him because he can fly as long as he's got that belt and cape on.
Right. Yeah. So he gets in there and takes him out basically.
Yeah. He flies up. He does the he kind of clutches onto the landing pad thing, not the wheel, but and it looks kind of, because is Cobra piloting?
Yes.
That? Okay, so it's just a one-man thing, and he's able to distract him, and the plane crashes real cheap, like the actual impact. He crashes into
like a
electric
tower,
line, and so basically that's the end of Cobra.
Yeah, and so basically the last scene, we'll go through it real quick. It's not that big a deal, but basically
the Aztec guy
summons the
spaceship. It's just and they call it like a
Christmas ornament.
Yeah, a Christmas ornament from outer space or something like that.
Yeah,
and he goes back up in there ET style.
Yeah, and he stays down and he gets the girl, and that's just the end of the movie.
Yeah, and so he gets the girl. Yeah,
it was the only real plot development in this movie was he got the girl. Well, that was the only actual plot development.
That's the closest thing resembling a character arc. And so that was Pumaman. So how would you rate that on our 3-tier system?
So, I think you know this is coming, Joseph, but hands down, first tier.
Is first tier for you?
Yeah, dude, hands down. It's honestly one of the funniest Mystery Science Theaters. I've seen it a couple times, and every time the jokes never stop to make me, or never fail to make me laugh.
This is interesting for me because when I first saw it, and this was fun fact, this was the first Mystery Science Theater I ever saw. Once I had seen a few, because my friend Tim showed them to me, I had always thought of it. Once I saw enough to sort of, when we started forming the tier system, this was actually a very, very high second tier.
Yeah.
But since I've seen more and more, and it's natural that the first several Mystery Science Theaters that I saw would have been the best of the best,
right?
Because I was, Tim would be like, "Oh, you got to see that, or you got to see that."
Our friend
second
Tim kind
tier.
of grew up with these.
Yeah, so he was more knowledgeable on it,
and he introduced them to Joseph, and then those two introduced it to me.
But so anyways, so this is interesting because now that I've in the years since I first saw this and would classify it as a second tier, I've actually gained more context in the MST3K world, and so I agree this is first tier.
Yeah. This is honestly, like, the jokes are solid throughout it. You don't ever really sit and look at your phone and go, what time, how much longer is left in it or anything like that.
Yeah, even just little riffs like the Rook, because it has a very 70s feel, and with the music they go yeah, stuff like that,
and even like the stupid little one-line jokes like as technology and everything are just like, they're so good, they're so silly,
and they even and one of my favorite riffs is where it's where the Aztec guy, he knocks him out, and then Crow's like, or one of them, he's like, "Thank you, that's what we've been wanting all the time.
You speak for all of us."
Yes, the Aztec speaks for all of us.
and then they also make the point of talking about the Aztec guy. This is the real hero. He's actually doing all the work.
They constantly talk about how he's the real hero of this movie.
Yeah, riffing's good, but the movie itself is funny. Just, especially, I mean, until you see the green screen flying, you won't believe like that alone would be worth the price of admission.
Yeah. So hopefully the next time it won't be as long of a break in between the reviews.
Yeah. Right now it's the
sidetracked with life the last couple weeks.
months. And yeah, we'll do like top 5 videos in the meantime.
Yeah.
Or if it's quicker, we can do a short, that sort of thing.
Yeah. But I'm gonna kind of put you on the spot, Joseph, a little bit. We didn't discuss this beforehand. What would you like to do next? Because I actually kind of have one that I would like to do, because it's one that I haven't watched in a really long time, and it is one we have seen before.
Would it be Soul Taker?
No, it's not. It is the Prince of Space.
I would be open to that.
I love the Prince of Space.
And I've only seen that once, and I just remember it was a very old Japanese film. So
and I just remember when we watched that in school, because Tim showed it to you and me.
Yeah.
And I remember us almost dying during that film. So
yeah,
I think we should do Prince of Space next.
So that'll be our next video. Hopefully we can get it to you in less than 2 months. But in any case, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed this MST3K review, guys, of the Pumaman. I'm Joseph.
I'm Donnie. Don't forget to subscribe, like the videos,
share it with your friends, anyone who might like Mr.
Comment
Science
what
Theater.
You like, what you don't like. Let us know let us know that you like us to keep doing this.
And
follow us on Twitter
and subscribe if you haven't already.
Yeah. Just any kind of support you want to give us.
We'd be happy to have it.
Anything. We'd love to hear from you guys.
One last time, I'm Joseph.
I'm Donnie.
And this has been the MST3K Review Guys.